How did they do the lighting on the Calvin Klein campaign? I'm going to break down the lighting. So I'm going to show you how I reverse engineering, how I learned lighting, how I still do it to this day. We're going to go through it. I'm going to show you diagrams. We're going to draw arrows and everything. But before I go into the lighting, I want to let you know that think of lighting tools, in fact, as almost like a chef's kitchen. Imagine going through a chef's drawers, lining up everything. Like you got 10 spatulas, you got 10 spoons, and you got wooden ones, and you got plastic, and you got metallic ones, and different pots and pans and everything. Let's just say maybe the person wants to do a barbecue that day. Bear with me for a sec. And technically, you can flip a burger with anything. You could do it with a wooden spatula. It's not going to be the cleanest, but you can do it. And the right person probably would do it. You could do it with a big spoon. You could do it with a couple forks. Or you can use the proper materials for it, like a metallic spatula, and it's fast and it's quick, efficient, and you have a higher level of success doing it. The same thing goes with lighting. So you could basically, like when you cook something, you can use any tool to get to the end goal. Some tools are just going to be better, but it's really up to you, and that's what makes a chef different. Like they like certain pots, certain pans, certain utensils for certain dishes. The same thing goes with photography, cinematography, any kind of filmmaking. You can use a softbox, you can modify that softbox, you can use an umbrella, you can use a beauty dish, you can even use like a bath sheet, like the bath curtain, the liner, to diffuse light. You can use a scrim. You can bounce off of a wall. You can put a white t-shirt over a light and diffuse it. It's ultimately up to you. The same modifiers, the same lights, they can do different things, and different modifiers and lights could do the same thing as something else can do. It's just how you get there. It's how you amend it, how you modify it. And that's what makes you a master in lighting, a master in the kitchen. In this case, we're talking about lighting. This is how I learned about it. So when I started reverse engineering things, I started thinking about things like, okay, I'm going to get myself 85% of the way there. The other 15% is the way Walid Azami does it. That's me. That other 15% is how you do it. And that's going to make you stand out. And so there is no right, there is no wrong. So when I do my lighting breakdowns, when I do the reverse engineering, I keep that in mind, and I want to remind you of it too. So the first thing is I want to talk about the Calvin Klein shot. The reason why I picked this Calvin Klein one is because the sun is the ultimate light modifier, light bounce, light everything. Every single strobe you buy, every single light modifier you buy, everything that you use in a photo studio is the sun in its various stages at various times of the year and various places on earth. So if you can master the sun, you've got photography mastered, and then you can start bringing in strobes. Now, I'll say that the Calvin Klein one, the reason why I put it there is that I personally think it's a golden hour type of shot. Plus, I believe that this is more of a winter light. So actually, let me take that back. Looking at the photograph, I think that it is golden hour, right pre-golden hour. And I actually think that it's a winter light, so it's not that warm. It's not that obnoxiously warm. I don't think that this is strobe. I think that this is actually sun. That is what the sun does. It's like the winter sun is the most fashionable light you can imagine. The winter sun is also the cleanest too. So when you look on one side of his body, that's where you get to see what the sun does. And you could tell just by the shadows which direction the light is coming from. If the shadows are mostly going below the muscles, he's got a lot of them, then you know that the sun was higher up in the day. But since the shadows are moving this way into the arm, then that means that the sun is directly opposite of it, and it was lower in the evening. And the reason why I say it's not summer is because a lot of these shirtless bathing suits, swimsuit type of campaigns are usually shot in the winter, and you just get in my opinion, a much better quality of light. Summer, it's a thicker light. It's like more fragments in the air. It's more pollution, more smog, etc. All right. The next thing that I want to say is that if you look on the opposite side of the body, you see all the little arrows and everything. I think it's likely a bounce. It could be like, okay, I could potentially use a very small strobe and just fill in some of the shadows, but there's definitely a light source coming in the opposite way because The shadows are lifted. They're not so heavy. And lifted just means like it's not so black. You can see definition of the skin below it. It's like a diet shadow. It's not a full shadow. What I think that they might have used is a California sun bounce. And those are really great outside. They are gold, they are silver, they're very large, like the size of a sled. I don't know why I said a sled, but they pick up so much power from the sun and they shoot it back. So when you look at that, I think that that is shot with the silver side of a California sun bounce. All right. I also want to say that the really hard shadows. So when you look, he's got his knee up and his foot down on that round curve. I think it looks like the top of a building in Greece, perhaps. And when you look at that, the shadow behind the foot is very, very hard. Where does a hard shadow come from? It comes from a hard light source. So that's another reason why I think it's the sun. If it was a strobe, then it is difficult, not impossible, but it's difficult for a strobe to throw that much power from his head all the way down to his feet. The sun can do that because that's the sun. I also want to say that if it's winter, don't book photo studios. Go outside wherever you are and take pictures out in the sun. After it rains, go outside on that sunny day. You get those cumulonimbus, those big puffy clouds. You get those in the background. Sure, you could put it in with AI, but do it yourself. You don't want a microwave meal. You want to create a meal. So you can say I'm a real chef. The lens that I think that they use, I believe that this is probably just your standard DSLR camera. I don't think it's medium format or anything like that. But when I'm looking at this photograph, there is no major distortion in his body. So that leads me to go, okay, it's probably a very commonly used lens for that purpose, for full body, no major distortions, anything. I'm going to say, but the background is not that compressed. So it's not like an 85, it's not a 50. I think it's a 35 millimeter lens, and that's why it just looks normal is the best way to put it. It's a beautiful photograph, but normal in a sense, like it's like what my eye sees. And I personally believe that the 35 millimeters are closest to the eye. Some people might disagree, but those people probably have astigmatism. That is Calvin Klein. But if you use the bounce and you use the sun, you can create some magical stuff. I do believe that the Greek building, the curves, I do believe that there is some bounce back light from the sun, but I don't believe that it is enough to fill in the shadows. So that's why I believe it's either a strobe or a big bounce. I think it's like a California sun bounce. Now, I want to say another thing real fast too. Now, if you think that this was helpful, you should see us inside of my Discord. It's a private community and it's free. 100% complimentary. It's my give back to the community. And so the reason why I have a private community is because I want to make sure that you get the right information, you get it from a single source, and you get it from a proven source who has already done a lot of the things that you want to do. And that stops the confusion, because a lot of times what happens is a photographer, a filmmaker will jump from this YouTube channel. Then they're like, oh, but this guy said that. Oh, but she said this. Oh man, I'm confused. I'm gonna go back to the beginning. This channel, they say something like this, but someone else says something like that. And in the process, what happens is you get stuck in the middle, you get worn out, and you give up. And that to me is the biggest crime. So I was like, no, I've already done a lot of this stuff. I love teaching. I want to have you in my private community, and it costs zero. Absolutely zero. We just need you to contribute. That means encourage each other. That means answer other people's questions. That means ask questions. That means join us for the free workshops that I'm hosting in there. VBA is linked down below. My name is Walid Azami. My website is right there. And thank you for sitting through this lighting video. I appreciate it. I'll see you on the next one. Let me know in the comments if you want me to do more of these, and if so, which campaigns. I'll be looking at the notes. Okay? Thank you so much.